friends, how are you? I hope all are you good. Welcome back to another class. Today we start English chapter number 15, rule number 3. What's your biggest fear in life? Are you afraid that it might come true? So we two friends, Sachin and I have come on a trip to Puri. ठीक है, सचिन और उसका दोस्त कहाँ पे ट्रिप के लिए पुरी पहुंचे हैं. There was a hotel Sagarpuri by the side of the sea. Sachin had visited Puri earlier and had stayed at this hotel. So when we arrived, Sachin took me to Sagarpuri, but the manager of the hotel informed us regretfully that the hotel was full and there wasn't any room available. Mister, I am a regular client of this hotel, but since there is no room available now, we will have to go to some other hotel, Sachin told him. The manager said it is the holiday season and all the hotels in Puri are full. Where will you find a room? Where can we stay then? Sachin asked dolefully. The manager thought for a while and said, since you are a regular client, I can manage something, but it will not be very comfortable. That's okay. We can put up with a little inconvenience. This is a somewhat familiar place and we wouldn't like to go searching for rooms elsewhere. Sachin said. The manager informed that there was a small room next to the kitchen. Will you be able to stay there? That will be fine. That will be fine, Sachin said. Then come with me. It was a very small room which had been used to store coal. It was dark and stuffy. The smoke and smell from the kitchen pervaded the room. By evening, Sachin's endurance level had abated to a low impossible. He said, shaking his head, we are not cool. If I stay here another hour, I will drop down dead. Where will you go? I asked. Where people live. Sachin replied, last time I was here, I had the best room to myself. Wish we could stay there now. So I pointed out the flaw that wishes like asking for the moon. It can't be fulfilled. Someone else is staying in that room at present. So that is the problem. Sachin agreed while scratching his head. It was 5:30 p.m. and a bell sounded from the dining hall upstairs, announcing tea. Sachin stood up and said, come, let's go upstairs and catch a glimpse of the room. The sight will at least bring some solace. Looking out of the sea from the window of the dining hall, I saw the layers and layers of dark clouds had covered the sky. By the time we had finished tea, it had become so dark because of the cloud cover that not slightest streak of blue was visible over the sea. It was a tough dust had fallen prematurely. Soon there was a great crash of thunder, and it was accompanied by waves. One by one, the people who were sipping tea left for their respective rooms. 3 others, besides Sachin and me, still remained sitting in the dining hall. All the 3 were from Kolkata. है ना, हमारे अलावा और लोग वहाँ पे थे, तो उनमें से 3 जो है कोलकाता के थे. One of them was middle-aged person who worked as a head clerk in an office. The second was a senior gray-haired school teacher, and the third was a college student. The atmosphere is just right for listening to a ghost story. I suggested looking outside in the dark, wet sky. The college student wriggled his nose and said, I don't believe in ghosts. The middle-aged head clerk said, I believe I am scared of ghosts. I have a weak heart and it pounds whenever I listen to ghost stories. The gray-haired school teacher said, I like to listen to ghost stories, but they have to be true stories. Sachin was gazing at the head clerk with unblinking eyes, busy in his own thoughts. He spoke. Now I can tell a true story. I had seen the ghost with my own eyes, but he says he has a weak heart and is scared of ghosts. The head clerk ran his hand over his chest and said, yes, I have had this problem for quite a long time now. I might faint if I listen to a ghost story. The college student looked at the head clerk scornfully and repeated, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't mind listening to a ghost story if only to pass the time. The teacher said, it's in the majority is in favor of listening to the story. Let's hear your true story. The hotel attendant came and lighted the lamp. The head clerk looked at us helplessly and then pulled his chair nearer to the lamp. Sachin started telling his story. The dark sky, rain and thunder created just the right ambience. And well, I am the hero of the story, but I will not tell you where this incident actually occurred. In a true ghost story, the place must never be mentioned. Okay, so however, let me inform you that I had seen the ghost in a hotel similar to this one. Is that so? The head clerk still in his chair in alarm. Yes, on that occasion too, I was in vacation and had taken a room in that quarter. So, ये true story सुना रहा है आपकी. The room was quite big and had 5 windows and 2 doors. The room was on the first floor of the hotel and situated to the right of the landing. On the first floor of the hotel and to the right of the landing, the head clerk muttered to himself. Yes, since it is a true story, I must briefly describe the interior as well. Inside the room and to the south was an iron bed. There were two wall cupboards on one side, and one on the other side was a square dressing table fitted with a long mirror and a chair in front of it. So there was also an easy chair in the room. Over one of the doors was a picture of Queen Victoria. There were no other pictures in the room. The teacher was getting impatient. Where is the boss, mister? Where is the need for describing the room in so much detail? मतलब उसमें गोस कहाँ है? तुम इतनी डिटेल में जो है ये इसका डिस्क्राइब क्यों कर रहे हो वहाँ का जो वो है पिक्चर जो नक्शा है वहाँ का? Although I have not mentioned the place, you must remember the details of the room so that you can be on your guard when you take up accommodation in an unfamiliar hotel. Now listen, I spent a pleasant afternoon in room, but the moment dusk fell, I felt a sudden misgiving for no apparent reason. Some strange fear seemed to have crept into the room in the evening. It was as though an invisible, horrific shadow began lurking behind me. I could not see, but I could feel two unblinking eyes staring at me all the time. I'm not a coward, but somehow I could not shrug off the fear. I tried to reassure myself. I sang at the top of my voice to drive away the fear, but it clung to me. I had my dinner and went to bed early, hoping that sleep would be the appropriate antidote for this strange fear. I did fall into a cozy sleep, but not for long. In the dead of the night, I suddenly woke up. I realized my sleep had been disturbed, not because of natural some circumstances. So there was some danger lurking in the room. This thought came to my mind immediately upon waking. Sachin paused in his narration at this point. Outside, the rain continued to beat incessantly. Under rule, the wind which blew fiercely sometimes forced its way into the dining hall, bringing in its wake a spray of cold water, and the sound of the angry sea reached our ears. Hey, mister, why did you stop? The school teacher asked, breathing heavily. The head clerk shut his eyes. I'm experiencing palpitations of the heart. He said. The student stuck off his views. I don't believe in ghosts, he said. Sachin resumed the narration. There was an ear silence, not even the sound of a rustling leaf, as I have already mentioned. It was the dead of the night and very dark. But I find this hard to explain. It was dark and yet as if an illuminated darkness. There were not lighted lamps in the room, nor did the moon shine through the windows. But still, the dressing table was clearly visible as though I were watching it in a movie. So, I watched in a daze and saw a person sitting in the chair in front of the mirror with his back to me. I could see his face in the mirror. It was someone whom I had never seen before. A thick moustache covered his upper lips. His eyes were like to glow off. He held a shining razor on his right hand, and he was sitting his own throat with the razor. Suddenly, blood spurted out and at once the horrible scene faded away. The room was once again plunged in darkness, and I heard someone's footsteps. Someone was walking towards me from the side of the dressing table. I could not bear it any longer. I sprang out of the bed, somehow managed to open the door, and was out of the room in a trice. Next morning, upon making discreet inquiries, I learned someone had committed suicide in room number 3 of that hotel. However, the hotel manager described the account as rubbish and insisted that no such thing had occurred in his hotel. The head clerk all of a sudden slumped in his chair and began breathing heavily. My heart is palpitating. I think I will faint, he said in a weak voice. The school teacher and the student at once rushed to his help. So, Sachin rose and said rather apologetically, I should not have narrated to ghost story in his presence. I was 9:30 p.m. Sachin and I was sitting in our dark hole when a hotel attendant came and delivered a note to me. It's from the manager, he said. So, क्या कहा उसने? The note read, the occupant of room number 3 has suddenly vacated the room. If you wish, you couldn't shift to that room. Sachin smiled mischievously. I knew this was going to happen. I was surprised. How could you know? Aya, Sachin said, last time when I was in this hotel, I stayed in that excellent room number 3 upstairs, which is the right of the landing. When I peeped into the room this afternoon, I found that everything in the room was arranged exactly the same way as last time. The head clerk was now staying in that room. What do you mean? What I mean is that you are an imbecile. Haven't you been able to figure out yet that my story with a vivid description of room number 3 was intended only to scare the head clerk and make him leave? So a true ghost story, it was nothing but a figment of my imagination. This is a feeble translation of a story by Hemant Kumar Roy. So everyone, the chapter is in here. I hope you all are very well understand full chapter. So we will meet you in the next class. Thank you everyone.